Hi folks, another video here. Yeah, I'm gonna comment on the Shedeor Sanders thing. Everybody think it's initially thought it wasn't based on racism. And I thought maybe the owners. Well, no, he got drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round, but he went all the way. He should have been drafted in the 1st round, maybe the 3rd pick, or even at least the 2nd round. At least he should be drafted. But he went all the way to the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. That's terrible. And a lot of people were saying that he was because he didn't study, bad interview. He went to the combine. I think that's bullshit. His workout wasn't good. He doesn't have a strong arm. He's conky, his father. And I thought maybe because his father. But something's more sinister than that. And that is he and his father. It's his father, yes. He's cocky and sinister, but it's more than that. Or confident. Somebody like confident. See, somebody, it's a black athlete. It's basically the NFL. You see that more in the NFL. It used to be seen in basketball. The black athletes more was confident. Doesn't go by the rules, go by his rules. Doesn't go by the norm. It's supposed to be subservient. It's a subservient Negro they want. So initially I thought it was his father. They just going after his father, but it's more than that. I mean, they hate Deion Sanders. You know, the college people hate Deion Sanders. They definitely do in the media. So you can't be braggadocious if you're a black athlete. See, it's more of anti-black racism. I never thought it would be anti-black racism. I skipped over that, but now I saw with analysis, Ole saying that Oleani, or Ole, you call her, this is from a video she made about how media sabotage black cinema and people. She commented on the Shedeor situation, and then she has somebody explaining about the Shedeor situation. She has a clip of this guy coming up. But I'm not gonna. She went on the movie called The Sinners. She's talking about that. I'm not gonna go into that right now. My focus is on Shedeor, and he was anti-black racism. The reason why he wasn't drafted is because of anti-black racism by the NFL. If you look at the problem in your face, he's staring at you. Like they're telling you who you are, what you can't do. Even Ocho Cinco, he was saying that he didn't want to start controversy. He even said he's on the sage race, and Shannon Sharp is kind of quiet. He's saying that more it was like because of Deion Sanders, his father. He doesn't want to sage the race. He has problems himself now with these women. But I heard that he got the job because of the NFL. According to Jaguar Wright, that's another thing. He got the job where he's at Club Shay Shay and Nightcap. Basically Nightcap. He got that job because of the NFL. She's allegedly, so he's put in there for a purpose. That's what she's saying. But anyways, I'm doing this because they convinced me. There's other videos that convinced me too. So I wouldn't say it was a race. I would say because of Sanders, his father. But now that I think about it, Roland Martin speaks about this. So it really is racism, anti-black racism. And these guys are the white owners. The same way that they hire black people. Like you have to be a certain way. I mean, black coaches, you have to be a certain way, attitude. They're not gonna, people have to be subservient. Can't be like overconfident. Look at Tomlin, Mike Tomlin is more, he's kind of laid back, but he's strong. He says some controversial things, but he's he knows that. And he knows with Pittsburgh. He's not I don't say he's kind of humble-ish. He's kind of humble. He tells the truth. And certain black coaches that they got rid of. I mean, they're good coaches and they got fired. Teams just fired them. They're qualified. You know, I noticed that in the past, like certain coaches, they just what's his name? The guy in Miami they fired. He's kind of like that. He's a confident guy. And they fired him to Miami. And they didn't get him a job. It was kind of a collusion against him. I forgot his name now. Flores, his name. See, he's not like a humble guy. He's a confident black man, black coach. He was, and he's gone. He was gone. So I'm gonna explain this. This guy's gonna explain what the situation with Shedeor is.
Why what the NFL did to Shedeor is racist. So I'm including it here for those struggling to understand, and watch every bit.
This Shedeor Sanders conversation is pissing me off, like badly, because it's such a good example of how little people actually understand white supremacy and racism, and yet somehow everyone thinks that they are experts in white supremacy and racism to be able to be the arbiters of what isn't racist, what isn't white supremacy, especially from people who have never experienced white supremacy in certain ways, have never considered white supremacy in certain ways, right? Just because you can say, oh, it's wrong for the police to barge into a woman's home while she's asleep and murder her, or it's wrong for the police to kneel on somebody's neck until they suffocate and die.
Skyscanner's top shelf. It saves us 30% on average when we compare flights and rental cars. Isn't that right, babe?
Oh, yeah.
If Mumsy keeps sniping sweet deals on Skyscanner, you might be able to finally grow those playoff beards.
We're going to the playoffs?
Thank you, Skyscanner.
Okay, those are not the only ways that white supremacy and racism manifest, especially not in the daily life of black and brown people. And this is something that I think also because people internalize these things so much, these systems and these constructs and this history, that even a lot of black and brown people don't understand white supremacy and racism, not truly. So what I've seen a lot in relation to Shedeor is this idea of, well, he's so egotistical, we gotta humble him. Well, that's interesting, because I don't see the same narrative about white quarterbacks. I've seen that actually be something that's a positive, right? Oh, they have edge to it. We want our quarterbacks to have edge. So there's that. But largely, again, the idea of needing to humble or break down a black person is racist. It's racist, right? The idea that you want to dilute an unapologetic young black man who has bravado, who again has deep confidence, sometimes maybe erring on arrogance, but that you feel like you need to humble, and not just humble, but now humiliate him, a top 10 Heisman candidate. It's white supremacy, right? You have a bunch of team owners, right? Largely white men, colluding to break down a young black man. Oh yeah, no. We're gonna teach this boy a lesson. That is racism. That is absolutely racism. And when people bringing up things like, oh, well, other black quarterbacks have been drafted, other black players have been drafted. Yes, it's a largely black league that is also a racist league, right? Did Colin Kaepernick not happened? What? And yeah, also, yes, other black quarterbacks were taken. Cam Ward, as an example, was taken number 1. But blackness is not a monolith, right? Just because Cam Ward shows up in a way as a black person that fits the mold of what the NFL is looking for more in sort of like the quiet, sort of palatable blackness, doesn't mean anything in relation to Shedeor, right? Like, again, blackness is not a monolith. You can love one black person and despise another. There are black people who are Trump supporters. There are black people who are anti-black. Being black doesn't inherently mean that you are the same type of black as somebody else. And yes, it is racist to think so. And also to this point, yeah, if we talk about the first round, sure, I can see Shedeor maybe not going. Second round, dicey. We are now going into the 4th round of the NFL draft, and Shedeor Sanders has not been drafted. A top 10 Heisman candidate. And then people are also saying, like, oh, well, it's because of his father. He's a Nepo baby. Well, that's interesting, right? Sure, maybe. But never have I heard being a Nepo baby such an issue, right, for people otherwise. Because realistically, when Eli Manning was drafted, Archie Manning's son, Peyton Manning's brother, he was difficult. So much so that he didn't want to go to the team that drafted him, the Chargers. So he forced himself to get traded to the Giants. But Shedeor is difficult. Okay. Cool. This is all largely rooted in the same reason why Lamar Jackson wasn't drafted until late in the draft, right? When he should have probably been the first pick. This is a multi-time MVP now. But before, he was just, for lack of a better term, an urban hood black guy who should have probably been a wide receiver until he showed you, nah, I'm a quarterback. Right? Racism, white supremacy. Y'all don't know what you're talking about, right? I mean, the last thing to say is even the idea that so many of you are getting off on the fact that this is happening to Shedeor is because you actually hate black people. And some of you have internalized, even as black and brown people, internalized anti-blackness without realizing it, right? How blackness shows up in a way that works for you or doesn't work for you is largely rooted in white supremacy, racism, and anti-blackness. Wearing the chain, having the bravado, throwing the rollie up, while also producing, yeah, you don't like that. You want your black boys to go to church, be quiet, and just say, I have nothing to say. Football and God over everything. We know what you want. And we know why you want it. Racism. Simple as that.
What's really important about the buck breaking of Shedeor Sanders is what it tells us about how the masses feel. When we talked about how the media tries to, in some ways, trick you, covertly manipulate you into questioning the success of the movie Sinners, it's insidious. But with Shedeor, they're not trying to trick you as to what's happening and why. They're simply banking on you to share in the same kind of internalized anti-blackness that they believe justifies it. They are publicly and widely discussing this idea that a black man who could have been a top 10 pick, certainly a first round pick, deserves to find himself picked at the bottom of the 5th round solely because he's too cocky, too arrogant. And that's what it's about. The NFL treats these young black men as chattel who should be undyingly grateful for the opportunities they worked for and make themselves small, meek, and grateful.
Yep. So they don't really care, folks. You know, they should be grateful because, hey, they're making millions of dollars, so they should be careful. They should play all these games. I mean, and they might add another game, another regular season game. That's the rumor now. So they should be grateful and go out and don't complain, shut your mouth and don't say anything. It could be used and abused. If you speak out, if you don't comply, you're not gonna be in the league. We'll blackball you. Like Kaepernick, they did to Kaepernick. They blackballed him, and when he spoke out, with the flag and the kneeling, the protest he did. And yeah, they don't care, folks. These guys are, they don't really get up. And the old game, to me, this game is kind of fixed, anyways. Like, the whole thing is like fixed, or like this is it's kind of it's shady, folks. The NFL is shady. Put it that way. It's fixed in my books. So it's more than, so I don't take it seriously. I used to. The whole thing is fixed, folks. That's another story. But let's go on, and I'm going to end this soon.
And typically, based on how the NFL has made its living preying on the physical prowess and impoverished backgrounds of young black men who spent their entire lives dreaming of the NFL as their one shot of making it, they typically get that. But that's not what they get from the proud son of proud-ass Shedeor Sanders. And they hate them for it. Yep. The NFL wants to send the message that what happened to Shedeor is what happens to who don't get down and stay down when told. Yep. And that's not just the culture or covert feelings of the plantation-ass team owners, but of their like-minded fans who don't hide how they expect their to give it up. Look at how they're virally celebrating Cam Ward.
No flashy jewelry, no flashy suit, no flashy girlfriend hugging the attention. Just a regular suit, thin chain alma mater pin, and his parents be by his side. Yeah, he's playing 20 years of pro football. Really? Well, we'll see about that. It might be a dud. Yeah, and he's from, well, I shouldn't say his parents are poor. No, I don't know if he's poor. He's from the hood, or like Sanders is middle class and he's from the hood. That's how they want the poor. That's the stereotype. Poor black guy from the hood, and his parents are there, support him. That's a stereotype. And this is what he dreamed of all his life. This is a dream, and this is the way to get out of the hood. That's what they want. This is the way out. That's how they want black. That's what they want black Americans to do. A way out. They don't want them to be doctors or lawyers. Yep. Like that's what Trump wants. That's what America wants. MAGA crowd. We're going to politics with this. They want that's why that's why DEI and the black history, they want to get rid of that. They want to get rid of black accomplishments. The black American accomplishments. Even the world even world history. They want to get rid of. They weren't taught that. And they want you black people to be remembered as just entertainers. And, you know what I mean? Great entertainers, and that's it. I mean, even some of the entertainers, they don't want you to remember. They want you to celebrate them. I mean, that's what they want. So they want to, what really matters, they don't want you to know. They want you to celebrate it. I mean, they don't want the knowledge. They want you to know just the entertainers. I mean, that's more important for you to know, according to them, according to the white society and white supremacy. These folks are going on too long.
In other words, he's one of the good ones and Shedeor is not. And not only are they publicly and widely discussing it, they're sending out bots to do it. I made a few posts and threads about Shedeor in the NFL draft, and all of those posts were flooded with accounts, all spewing the exact same talking points about how Shedeor isn't even talented, how he's not anything special, how he's too cocky. And you click on these accounts and you see they have no other posts And then I remembered that YouTube comment from earlier. We need to talk about the campaigns to discredit and diminish the popularity of Black movies. I often see the same derogatory sentences repeated over and over in comment sections regarding Black media, but specifically Black movies. It's organized smear campaigns. The commenter was talking about Black movies there, but the same is true here. This is a campaign to discredit Shedeor, to place a big asterisk on his success, to cast doubt on whether someone whose stats we can see, who we know was expected to be a top pick, even deserved to be picked at all. Just like those headlines and articles about sinners synced up their talking points, so too have those talking about Shedeor. But beyond that, what they're doing with these narratives, with these bots that are sent to flood social media, is manufacturing consent for not just the idea that Shedeor deserved this, but that Black men like him are supposed to be humbled.
Yep.
I'm going to leave my comments on Shedeor there because I know that FD is going to do what needs to be done over on his channel, and I'm probably having...
I'm gonna watch that too. Anyways, folks, I'm gonna watch that pretty soon. I have that. I saved that. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. What do you think about this, folks? I didn't even think it was racism, but I'm convinced. The treatment of Shedeor Sanders is anti-Black racism, no doubt. I shouldn't be surprised the NFL, the scumbag league, scumbags, all white owners. But I don't take it seriously. I watch some of the games. And I used to watch it for betting purposes. And I give up on that. It's a scam. The whole thing's a fraud, a scam, folks. I'm out of here, folks.